Hello, people. Episode 19. You're never going to guess what. In fact, actually, let Peaches and Herb do this for you. We are back. The trio of Trackside is back to you. I mean, look at Will. He cannot claim any form of happiness. Look at him. He can't contain the excitement. He is. We are so back. And I suppose as well for Will, you're still not even up to date with the Predictions League, so we'll get into that a lot later on. But first things first, Singapore Grand Prix wasn't the greatest, was it? Go on, Ollie, you first.
It was potentially the most boring race of the year, in my opinion. And it's so disappointing because Singapore is always a race that I absolutely love. Obviously, it was the first ever night race in Formula One, which the graphic got wrong. By the way, I noticed. So at the start of the race, they showed a graphic saying the Singapore Grand Prix in Marina Bay was the first night race since 2018, and I was like, no. That was 10 years before. 10 years after. First Singapore Grand Prix was in 2008, I think I'm right in saying. And that set me off. But the Singapore Grand Prix, absolutely love it. I think the track is very technical. Obviously, we know what the weather conditions and the humidity do to the drivers. I mean, I'm sure we'll get onto it more in the episode, how basically ill the drivers looked after the race. Yeah. But I think it's just a fantastic event. I think the city itself and the country itself, I mean, the architecture is fantastic. And
I think Singapore's got like #1 passport in the world. I think they've got like the best passport that can get you into like most places, like everywhere.
Yeah, but no, I usually love the Singapore race weekend, but it kind of didn't meet expectations this year.
Well, I think it's a little bit of a lost start as well, isn't it? Like car failures and crashes, because that was the first ever safety car free Singapore Grand Prix, and also the first without a yellow flag.
It does definitely take something out of it, because Singapore is, that they said on commentary, Singapore is just a wider Monaco slightly. It's hard to overtake. And when you don't have the safety car element, it can be kind of dull, which is what we saw. And yeah, I have to agree with Ollie. As last year, Singapore was the only race weekend that actually gave us a bit of entertainment. I was looking forward to it, and then just to be a bit let down.
Yeah, it's a shame.
We can't really be like too down, because we haven't been treated this year.
Yeah, it's true. It's allowed. It's almost like a bit of a reverse psychology of last year to this year. One thing as well I actually do want to quickly mention is it does look like Daniel Ricciardo. It's still nothing has been confirmed yet, but it does look like Daniel Ricciardo has lost his seat, and by the reaction of everyone in the paddock and himself, looks certain that he will be replaced by the time we get to Austin. Which, by the way, is in a month, which I'm not happy about. But yeah, no, it's like another summer break, even though it's not a summer break. But it looks like Liam Lawson will go in. Now, Mr. William Smith, that got me thinking, if Ollie does continue losing in this Predictions League, surely he needs a new forfeit, because that won't make sense.
Is Ollie still losing?
Oh, yeah.
I think we can definitely still get him some Ricciardo merch or something like that.
Well, I suppose for Ollie's sake, at least it will be discounted.
I'll just find him a massive cardboard cutout.
No.
I don't think
the
punishment changes. I just think that even though Ricciardo's not in the sport, we still have to remind Ollie.
No, do you know how good that would be, Will? Actually, I've just had a thought, because all along it was, you have to wear a Ricciardo hat or a Ricciardo shirt. Imagine if you had to have like a life-size cardboard cutout and you had to take it to a lecture for the day, and you had to sit it down next to him in Dave's lecture.
You can't do that.
Yeah, that would be good. That would be really good.
That would be really good. I reckon it's doable.
Okay, let's dive into the race. I think, let's start with qualifying, but as in the race weekend. I think first things first, really, Perez, Q2. I suppose by now you wouldn't say like, Red Bull out in Q2, but you would be a little bit shocked that Perez can't cut it on a street track. But then he did it last year as well. So,
but also coming off the back of a good weekend in Azerbaijan, it's a bit weird. Like, we thought he was making progress forward. Actually, good last couple of races are. Let's see if Perez can actually, certify his seat, and then he does this. It's just like, all right, see you later.
I know, yeah, and I think with Perez, I mean, I've made it clear. I think he's been lucky to stay on for the second half of the year. It's a financial thing, and the Mexican fans when they go to the Mexican Grand Prix and all these things. But I thought the same last week. I thought, is this like a revitalized Sergio Perez? And then he was clearly better than Max all of last week and was obviously unlucky in the end. But then it's kind of like roles reversed again. And the second Red Bull car, the first Red Bull car, but the other car in Max Verstappen managed to put it on front row. Who saw that coming?
No, I mean, for the past, it must be, since the summer break, Red Bull have really, really fallen off, which
Max hasn't won in 3 months.
Yeah.
He hasn't won. He hasn't won ever since he had that photo with the Leeds kit.
Yeah.
I mean, it's kind of telling, but I mean, Red Bull haven't been.
Max is falling.
No, Red Bull really haven't been there or thereabouts since the first 7 races of the year. Really,
no.
I mean, I can't see them winning another race this year, and I think it is now going to be a factor of Max is going to have to just keep as close to Norris as he can.
How is the gap still 50 points?
52. And actually, do you know what? You lead me into a really good segue there. Daniel Ricciardo, of course, he took the fastest lap on the last lap of the race to take that point away from Lando. We'll probably come into that a little bit later about the fact that they can have a team A and a team B or whatever, and the other teams can't. But that now means that with the remaining 6 Grand Prix and 3 sprint races, if Lando Norris won every single race and Max came second in every single one, Max would win the championship by a point.
And if Lando got fastest laps,
as well, then Max would win it by a point. So Daniel Ricciardo potentially has done his old mate a favour there. But I'll be honest, I can't. It's not even that. Max will have a race where he's 4th, he's 5th, but Lando's not going to win every race either. It's just not.
No, but that's the thing. This is I said this to her after Zandvoort. I said it's going to go to Abu Dhabi.
You did?
I think it is going to go down to the last week in the season.
I don't think it gets as close as 2021. I think it's like.
No.
I think it'll get like Lando has to win, but if Max finishes 4th, he's won.
100%. There's no way they're going to be on the same points. I don't even know.
It'll be like 2015 where Lewis was miles ahead, but Nico Rosberg could still somehow mathematically win it, but not quite. It was like
it would literally be
15.
If Lando wins, Max has to finish in the top 5. And that'll be it. And
Verstappen will have a Glock moment. He'll overtake one of the Yuki Tsunoda will conventionally be running like P5, and then hang on a minute, I've had a problem. Max goes through.
Yeah.
Or Senna will pull a Senna. Perez will pull a Schumacher for Vettel in 2012 and just let him go through on his last race as a little ego.
Yeah, but how good would it be if Perez knew this was his last race and actually Perez is winning the Abu Dhabi Grand Prix, and they say like people come over the radio, right, you need to swap the cars now and into turn whatever, and Perez just doesn't do it. Oh my word.
Not a chance would that happen.
That would be unbelievable. Do you know what? Red Bull would probably take control of his car and do it for him.
Yeah. If you knew it was his last race, realistically, what's stopping you? You lost your seat anyway.
Wow. I do think with Sergio Perez that, like I said, I don't think he's going to get a race win now. I think was it Spa? I said, I could see him winning a race potentially if he finally can get himself back up to like the P3, P4 spot, and then obviously you have a crash at the front, and that could still happen, especially if he has a Baku type of performance weekend. But it's just the fact that Max can drag that car. Lando yesterday or Sunday for the race very nearly binned it. He did it on 2 or 3 occasions, and if that had been the case, Max would have won. The
I'll
Grand Prix.
tell you what
I
it
feel
does.
like that would have been championship over as well. That would have been it.
I'll tell you what it does
Yeah.
feel like. It feels a lot like 2009. Brawn started the season fantastically. No one could touch them. That was Red Bull at the start of this year. Red Bull have now just plateaued and every other team's gone up. It's the exact same as the Brawn situation.
Did you see as well they couldn't bring a livery change to Singapore because of the weight?
Yeah.
What?
I have a conspiracy theory.
Oh, we love a conspiracy theory on the Trackside Pod. Go for it.
No, I think the reason that they're not going to bring any more special liveries this year is because they're not winning anymore. So they can't just go out and look all fancy because they obviously did that in all of the American races last year, but that's when they were winning. They knew that they could be like a bit more extravagant and make their car look really cool and really nice. But now they're not winning. It's a bit like you were the best team and now your season's just gone to absolute rubbish.
You say that.
Wearing a special livery.
V-car.
Yeah, I know, but they're not winning races, are they? So they can just do it to
McLaren did it though.
Yeah, but they are winning races.
Yeah, that's true. Mercedes did it, and they have won some races. So,
They've won more recently than Red Bull.
That's true. It's very, very true.
But no, it's let's talk about the liveries actually. That'll be quite a good little segment I feel for the pod. The V-carb livery, I think it might be one of the worst things I've ever seen.
That's the Sauber, mate.
The Sauber's up there, but the denim look on an F1 car. Oh god! I mean, I like Yuki Tsunoda, and I actually loved the original V-carb this year. I think we said it was like the nicest. Me and Ben said it was one of the nicest liveries, if not the nicest on the grid.
I did as well.
But but you liked the Sauber one, so
yeah. So your opinion's irrelevant.
But the denim, it's horrendous. It is. I'm begging RB to never bring that livery back because that is something of the devil's creation.
McLaren rinse and repeat in the white paint, by the way. Bit boring. Grow up. Be original.
Do you know what? I'll tell you what isn't horrendous, Ollie. And I'll tell you what might be my new favourite thing. Franco Colapinto.
Oh, my God.
This guy is living out, I think, every kid who's into motorsport's dream. I don't know if you've seen, but obviously not only is he actually very, very good as well and clearly a lot better than Logan Sargent, but he is a Lewis Hamilton fanboy. He's absolutely obsessed with Lewis Hamilton. He did an entire post about him last week after Baku, about Lewis Hamilton and getting to meet Lewis Hamilton as if like he was a fan. Then he commented on because obviously we're definitely going to have to get into the whole FIA Max Verstappen thing this weekend and the community service, and that's mental. But Max Verstappen in practice laughed when Franco wanted to race him, and Franco then commented on the Instagram channel, "Penalty for Max," laughing. Like he's actually down with it. Like he's actually so funny, and he's unbelievable as well. That dive bomb into turn one. Alex Albon weren't a fan of it, but I think he probably weren't a fan of it because he didn't have the cojones to do it himself.
I just want to carry on your point of Franco being a Lewis fanboy. So they do the driver's parade before the race. Have you seen him trying to go up and approach Lewis? And he just seems so awkward. He's like, "Do I go and approach him? Do I?"
Yeah, it's like that emoji of that, like just human being just stood there.
Yeah, just standing there like. But oh no, it is really fun, and it's kind of. It's mental to think that that's now kind of the stage that we're in. That all this new young talent is going to be coming into the sport, idolising Lewis Hamilton essentially.
Yeah. So
they're all, if they get to meet him or race with him, they're all going to be like, "Oh my god, this is the guy that I dreamed of being."
No, I know. Like that, it is pretty mental though, because I suppose in most sports, like in football, if you make it. Your idol might not necessarily still play, but obviously they'll be involved in the game, or you'll have brand sponsorship deals and you'll get to meet them and this, that and the other, or they'll be higher up as a coach or staff or whatever. But it's rare that someone like Ollie Behrman, 19 years old, can race with 39-year-old Lewis Hamilton. Do you know what I mean? Like, that's crazy.
But yeah, it's mental. But I think Franco's been a bit of a fresh air to the sport. I think. I mean, with that, I mean, that dive bomb, I mean, he's my driver of the weekend for that moment alone.
Again,
I mean,
2 weeks in a row.
I know, but for a four car overtake going into turn one,
Yeah.
is in your third race in a Formula One car is ridiculous. Like, you don't see many drivers do that. So that's why he's my driver today, purely for that moment. But yeah, obviously you said that Alex wasn't a fan of it, and he did come over the radio going, "What on earth is Franco doing?" But I don't get what his point is, because we're racing. We're not sitting there behind other cars just to enjoy looking at a rear wing of someone.
Tell you now, Albon's about to have a reality check, because Franco's come in and he's actually performing slightly better. And there's going to be an absolute reality check for Albon. Like, okay, I've actually got some competition now in the team. The way James Vowles kind of talks about Colin Pinto, it sounds like he really, really likes him as well. So I think these next four races, Albon's going to have a harsh reality check, and I'm kind of here for it. I can't.
Thing is as well, him being Argentinian, he's got an unbelievable support like fan base. It's unbelievable. He's basically got the entire country on his side, which is amazing. And obviously, he's like, we know from a football perspective how passionate the Argentinians are. But I even read something about how he's got the support of the likes of Lionel Messi and things like that. And I was like, that's unbelievable. Like, that is unbelievable.
How is he again?
When
He's the youngest on the grid now, so I imagine 21, because Oscar's 22, I think. Yeah.
I'll have a check.
But yeah, also, speaking in the situation of qualifying, Ferrari, not a good one for them. P9 and P10. P10 for Sainz, because he binned it before he started his
That
lap.
crash was so weird. That's such a weird crash. Like, to lose it there on starting your lap, I was like, hey?
Yeah, it's clearly the 10th one in the tyres. And then Leclerc had his lap deleted, put him down to P9, which is a shame for Ferrari, because they are well and truly in this constructors fight. Yeah.
But at the same time, if you're going to be in a constructors fight, you can't be doing stuff like that.
No, exactly.
That error from Sainz is genuinely like rookie level error.
I just want to quickly say, by the way, I don't understand. Obviously, I know that if people are watching this and they get in the comments and go, "Oh yeah, but there are still bits that are wider on the track which aren't part of the track and you can't go across them." But how do you break track limits at a street circuit? Like, obviously, I know there are runoffs. Like, I want to say turn 6. And then a few other, obviously the last corner as well.
I think that's where it was, the last corner.
But it's like, you're at a street circuit. There's hardly any opportunity for you to go over that white line. So how on earth are you breaking track limits? So I get that they're pushing the cars to the limit, but
I think it was that last corner that he broke track limits. I can't lie, because a lot of them were doing it in practice.
Well, Max had a lap time deleted for driving, not lifting off double yellow flags before the red flag came out for Sainz, but I thought that was really harsh, because the actual flashing board was still showing green, because obviously as soon as you cross that line, you're then into sector 1 and not into sector 3 anymore. But I found
but then also, if you listen to, I think it was Anthony Davison on the Skypad this weekend, and if you listen to the actual onboard of it after quali, as soon as Max sees the incident, he lifts off before the line.
Yeah.
And it's like,
well, the FIA weren't on Max Verstappen's side this weekend. I think we should probably actually go straight. Well, Nico Hulkenberg P6, fantastic qualifying for him and for Haas. Lewis Hamilton P3 as well, which I thought was really good for Mercedes. Lando on pole. Max Verstappen versus the FIA. This is the new rivalry. Forget 2021. We've got a new rivalry here. It started out with Mohammed Ben Salim coming out and talking about swearing into the and the phrasing which he used, "We're not rappers." Lewis Hamilton's then come out against that and said, well, there's a racial element there, because rappers are predominantly black people, and I don't like the way that he said that. And I agree with Lewis Hamilton there totally. And I think it's the peak of motorsport. It's the pinnacle of the sport, right? The adrenaline in any form of professional sport is at a top level, but in Formula One, where you're throwing yourself through corners at nearly 200 miles an hour and going down straights like nearly 200 miles an hour and going through corners at like 130, 140, 150 miles an hour. Like there is a high amount of adrenaline. The idea in which you're not allowed to be swearing, I think, is ridiculous. On the broadcast, it doesn't actually get played; it's beeped out. And I would hate to see team radios taken away because I feel as though it's a good aspect of the sport. But if you're so bothered about it, then just take that away.
It would kill it if it did.
Exactly.
Yeah.
What's feeded out to live broadcast as well isn't every single word between drivers, so it's selected, so they're specifically picking what they want to show, and I also just think as well, like, why is this become an issue all of a sudden? Why is this just now
woke nonsense?
Yeah, why now has it just become like, I think so? Max Verstappen was effectively given community service. He was told that he would have to do a certain amount of hours to make up as an apology and do things. And then from that point onwards, the rest of the weekend, he made it very clear that he didn't want to speak to anyone in any FIA setting.
You missed out why he was given the community service, though. It's because he swore in the driver's press conference.
Well, yes,
before it started.
Yeah,
I rate that though. I rate that.
But it wasn't in a way. I mean, yes, you shouldn't really do it, but it wasn't in a way of how should we say, to take the mick. He just said that his car was bad the week before, and he just used another word for it. And I think the reason that I read something, because of English isn't his native language, there was like there wasn't, it was why it wasn't a fine or a bigger fine. But that he should know better. And okay, yeah, fine, that's fair enough, he should. But like a community service for a driver at the peak, probably the best driver in the sport at the minute. Like,
do you reckon he actually does it? Well, what happens if he does
it? Lewis came out and said, "I certainly wouldn't do it," and I hope Max doesn't.
What happens if he doesn't do it though? If they said there's going to be a repercussion?
Well, that's the thing. If they fine him, it's going to be like if someone dropped like a penny coin on the floor. It's not going to affect his bank balance at all, is it? I mean, he's got absolutely millions that he's sitting on. So,
but he has also come out and said these little things. These are little things that will just help me make my decision to retire early. I don't need this in my life. Like, how old is he now? Probably 25, 26.
Yeah, 26.
You don't need petty things like that, or you're being controlled.
Make him go at the end of the year. To be fair.
Well, probably not at the end of the year. Probably. He'll definitely go into new regs, but I don't know when his contract expires. Is it 2028? His contract?
I want to say so. Yeah.
Well, that's potentially. Is the what?
Is it 2030?
No, I think it's 2028. But that could easily be the end of it or whatever. Also, interesting to note on contracts that Christian Horner alleged that he's interested in George Russell. So that's
which I mean, with all of the rumours of Max potentially going to Mercedes at some point,
where does that leave?
It wouldn't surprise me because realistically, if we look at it as outsiders, Mercedes in the next couple of years are not. They're more likely to let Russell leave than Antonelli.
Yeah,
they're not going to let Antonelli leave. And although he won't be the number one driver next year, he will be, in protection purposes, he will be the number one driver because they'll be like, we're not letting this wonder kid go. Whereas George is kind of like, okay, yeah, you're an established race winner. Your racecraft is very, very, very good. And as much as I love him, I do think he is replaceable at Mercedes. I don't think he's the cream of the crop, as they say. I think he is a very good driver. But at the end of the day, from 2025 onwards, Mercedes' priority is going to be with Antonelli.
The thing is, right, it's definitely too early to say, but you know how Toto Wolff was always hung up about the fact that he missed out on the opportunity to sign Verstappen? Everyone's talking as though Antonelli is the wonder kid that he's been wanting all along. Lewis Hamilton was the wonder kid. He was only, I think, when he signed, how he would have been 24, 25. I know Antonelli's 18 is a massive difference, but Lewis Hamilton was the wonder kid. I just wanted to put that out there. But yeah, no, I do agree with what you're saying there, actually, and I do think that George isn't as secured as I think we probably would have once thought he was. But yeah, with just finally on the Max Verstappen thing, it's very stupid, and they need to be careful. I can't believe I'm defending Max Verstappen, but they need to be careful because you're going to lose a talented driver like him otherwise. And ever since he's stopped winning, I've actually realised he's really funny.
Yeah, he's quite good.
He's actually really funny.
He doesn't care
Props
anymore.
to him.
He doesn't care.
I don't want to, because obviously we do this podcast and we don't swear purely because of certain reasons of how we upload and everything. But I think, and I'm not defending like what he's done at all. I do think in front of a live TV or not a live TV audience, but actually no, it wasn't it? Because
in the driver's briefing, it's not in the driver's press conference. Sorry, it's not really acceptable.
No,
because it can't be filtered. Whereas to have a go at them swearing over the radio after you filter everything and pick out certain things that go out 1 or 2 laps after it's said, it's shocking. You can't have a go at them when you're the ones picking it apart anyway and bleeping it all. Like,
but
make your mind up.
Yeah, no, but I don't want to defend swearing as a whole, but it does feel like over recent years it has become more socially and culturally acceptable to swear now than it has in the past. Obviously, we don't do it.
I think
the fact of it's so.
Well, we do, just not on this.
Yeah, we do, but it's not on this. But it's so. It's so mainstream now. Obviously, I mean, on the subject, Ted had a slip up, didn't he?
Oh, yeah.
Well, but you know that wasn't live. Did you see the after bit?
Yeah,
that wasn't live. They accidentally put in the wrong clip. So obviously they would have filmed that and then gone take 2, and then they accidentally uploaded take 1.
But I mean, this is what I mean. It's kind of it's obviously the older generation that swearing is very, very frowned upon. But from people from our generation, it's not really seen as that bad of a thing.
What the crazy thing is, and this is where I think big name bias comes into it. Why is Yuki Tsunoda not being absolutely tarnished upon this as well? What? Because if anyone is as bad for it, every single radio message from Yuki Tsunoda is beeped. If you can find me one radio message that isn't beeped from Yuki Tsunoda, fair enough. But this is where I think that this is where big name equals more bigger brand. Oh, FIA versus 3-time world champion Max Verstappen. If it was FIA versus Yuki Tsunoda, boring. Next, carry on. No one's gonna care. But because it's Max, that's we'll go for Max. That's a big name in the sport.
I'm still surprised because Max is their golden boy. So
exactly.
I still find it kind of crazy, but of course it definitely comes from the driver.
He was their golden boy because he was winning. Now it's McLaren and Lando. He's not their golden boy anymore. So they're like, all right, well let's go for him now because there's not enough going on right now. So let's. But I'm serious. If anyone's as bad as it, if you can honestly find me a Yuki Tsunoda radio message where he isn't swearing, fair enough. But I can't name one.
I mean, if it's based off of attitude problems as well, Lance is one of the worst ones for it.
Oh my! Just get him out of sport for it. Give him community service. Sack him off. Get him gone.
He's a race engineer last year in Qatar. But nothing happened because his dad probably paid off the FIA. That's
strong accusations from Molly King there.
God, Lance Stroll's.
Giving that man Adrian Newey to design his car is.
We've been waiting for this.
It's so bad. You're literally letting a monkey drive a rocket from Tesla. What are you doing? Why is it that this utter desk-eating mongrel has now the capability to win races, probably because he's going to be sitting in a rocket ship? He won't know.
When Aston were good,
anywhere near the front is infuriating.
Yeah, but Aston were good last year in a Red Bull 2.0, and he never even made the podium.
The annoying thing is, it's supposed to be the pinnacle of motorsport. and we're letting desk munchers get anywhere near the front.
That's a new one. I've never heard that before.
What is going on? I hate it. It's as soon as it was announced that he was joining that, I was like, what is happening? What's gone on to the sport I love? Oh, just
Well, on the topic of Lawrence, did you see the lizard?
Yes. Oh, it's the third generation of lizards, isn't it? 'Cause we
Godzilla,
had Godzilla,
Larry, and Lawrence.
Yeah, the Singapore family tree of giant lizards were back again this week. This year, Alonso didn't kill one.
Yeah. But
But
he did have to press every button on his steering wheel to stop his car from crashing.
yeah,
Can you confirm, Pit, confirm? No, the car's just understeering. Oh, all right. Cool. Fair enough.
Should talk about Lando Norris because we talked a lot about Piastri last week and how Lando's won by 20 seconds. And in the first stint, he managed to go. He was like 15 seconds clear before the first pit stop. That's unbelievable. Doesn't make for entertaining viewing, but
I mean,
when Max used to do it, we didn't enjoy it. But you have to give. We still have to give him props, and you got to give Lando props.
The reason why I think he actually won that race was genuinely he nailed his start for once. Like, that's one of the best starts I've ever seen him do. No wheel spin, up through the gears, reaction time was perfect. And that was, I think that we said that was the missing piece of the puzzle, his starts, like his reaction time and how he gets off the line. That's the hardest part because I think he was trying to push himself too much to be first into the turn one, so he'd get a lot of wheel spin and bogged down, whereas he nailed it. He absolutely nailed it. And
psychologically as well, going forward, that'll be good for him because every time he starts the pole now, we won't have that in his mind.
What, 8 races?
It would have been something like that, including yeah. So he needed that.
I had a feeling, I didn't obviously see all of the race, but I had a feeling that he might have led lap 1 because my Twitter feed wasn't full with Lando bottling turn 1 memes. And I was like, oh, is there a new awakening? And there is. And I think that, like I said, I think that is the final piece of the puzzle when it comes to his racecraft, his starts. Obviously, I'm not going to turn around and go, oh yeah, now he's going to be perfect every time. But you'll be seeing a lot more progression in how he controls a start, especially if he is leading.
The idea, though, that at the second Grand Prix of last season they were bottom, and that they're now leading the championship. This is like some Leicester City stuff.
Oh, it's absolutely ridiculous. Like how they've managed to turn it around is absolutely sublime. And I think Lando's race was, I mean, he did do very, very well today. Obviously, to win with a 20-second margin is a huge achievement. But to see on Twitter people going around, and I mean, let's not forget he almost did the Grand Slam.
Yeah.
Leading every lap and fastest lap. Danny Rick obviously took that fastest lap from him. But to see people saying that this is one of the great drives in Formula One, it doesn't sit right with me, bearing in mind he almost binned it 2 times in the race. I mean, obviously he had the one where he clipped his rear right wheel on one of the corners.
Yeah,
and then he locked up and almost went dead on into the wall. So, I mean, Lando himself could have brought out 2 safety cars. But yeah, to see people calling it one of the great drives, it's the Lando glazing once again. I'm not going to sit here and say it wasn't a good drive because he done brilliantly. He fully deserved that win, and to win by 20 seconds is an amazing feat.
Well, it's the second biggest gap of the season after Zandvoort, and he holds both.
But to be considered as one of the great drives, oh, come on.
McLaren,
you've only been watching the sport for 2 years or something.
Yes, they probably have.
Yes, they probably have, actually. That answered your question.
McLaren now sit 36 points clear of Red Bull, and it is a 2v1. Do we see them losing this? I'm saying
McLaren?
Yeah.
No.
I'm saying no.
No.
Do we see Max losing the drivers?
It's weird because I'm still saying Max has won it. I will hold that down until
I don't think he wins another race, like you said.
Yeah, but I think what I am changing my mind on is that it can go to Abu Dhabi. All along, I was saying he'd win it by Vegas, Qatar, whatever, Brazil, whatever. But like now, he'll still win it, but it will be Abu Dhabi. So he will get.
When did I say he'd win it by? When did I say
he'd win Vegas?
Did I say Vegas?
Yeah,
Yeah.
you did. But no, I think.
Well,
what is-
by the way, this is Singapore is the only track on the calendar he's still not won. He can't win around Marina Bay.
But I think one thing that's key to note, and Will, I was saying this last week, Ben after Azerbaijan, is in Formula One, it's not really a matter of winning it. So you have to be there to pick up the points when and where you can. And I mean, I was saying to Ben, Leonardo Fornaroli in Formula 3 won the Formula 3 championship this year without even winning a race.
How mental is that, by the way?
The thing is, though, you can win a championship in F1 by literally coming second every race.
This is what I'm saying. Max Verstappen at the minute is doing everything he needs to do to stay in this title fight, because realistically, wherever Lando's finishing, he's only one place behind him. If he just does that every race, he has got. And if I'm honest, it will be one of the great titles, I think, because to go from he's not won since, when did he last win? Ben, you'll know this, Max.
Spain.
Yeah, going from not winning all the way back in Spain to not win another race for the whole rest of the season. So Spain's what, round 8?
Spain was the 21st of June.
No, it was the 23rd. It was my birthday.
Yeah, what round is Spain?
I think it's 10, and that was 8 races ago.
So to go 14 races with, I think it's 3 or 4 sprint races, including that time, without winning and still to win a championship, or if he does that, that will be one of the great championships. Because to be putting yourself in those places in a Red Bull that is nowhere near what it was.
I can't even believe that's a sentence, by the way, Ollie.
What, do you not think it is?
No, like from what we used to talk about.
Yeah.
I can't believe that's a sentence. Oh, the Red Bull, it's there's nothing these days.
Yeah.
Like what? It was a rocket ship for so long.
What do you think on my point is the fact of if Max can win this championship without winning another race, but still being there to pick up.
If Max wins this championship, it's his best championship in my opinion, even better than last year's where he was the dominant force that he was and broke the records for most wins. What was it, like 19 or something in the end, right? I think it'll be his best one. But I will also look at the challengers and be, for an entertainment purpose, it's great that you're having someone new win every other week. But if I'm just going to put it there again, if Lewis Hamilton was driving Lando Norris's car, then he would win the championship this year.
People want Piastri to be biased.
He would walk. Yeah. Which I'm sorry, but he just would. And same if maybe Alonso was in that McLaren car.
You think if Leclerc was in it?
No.
I don't think so.
But I was actually going to say, so this was Hamilton's 350th race, Singapore. But I also learned that it was Alonso's 395th, meaning that if obviously all goes well, Qatar will be his 400th Formula One race. That is unbelievable.
That's like, it's the thing that's ridiculous is obviously when you think of like football player appearances, you think 400, you think that's not a lot. But when you factor in Formula One that you only get like, and especially over the years, it's gone up and up.
It's been like 18 races.
Think back to when Fernando first started, you're probably having 16 races a season. To now, I mean, obviously we're now having 24, but even still, take 24 races of this season off his 400, and that you've still got to race in 376 races.
Science is 200th race as well.
Yeah, no, I saw that, and I didn't. That seemed mental to me that he started that long ago, because that must be about 10 years ago.
It came in
2014,
15 Toro, so I think, yeah.
14.
Do you know what? That leads me on to a really good point. But just before the thing, we'll talk about Mercedes last. Just very quickly, how do you feel about the fact that Red Bull can call upon another team to basically help themselves out?
It doesn't quite sit right with me, but they've found such a good loop, because McLaren have actually complained about this, apparently.
They have, but Lando just so I give all sides, Lando said in the press conference they've had it probably since before I was born, so I can't really contest it.
Yeah, but it's kind of that if that was the case, if Red Bull did call upon them, then they've found a brilliant loophole for avoiding this by saying, look, it's Danny Rick's last race. We said to him, do you want to go and get the fastest lap? And he said yes. So they found a brilliant loophole of avoiding any kind of punishment. But yeah, no, having the two teams is a bit of a sour taste in the mouth.
Yeah. What do you think, Will?
I think game's a game. They're paying the money to have them. Paying the money to have them in the sport. Why not use them? Is what it is.
Yeah, it's just a great point, actually.
You know,
What would
and
you do
also,
without your expert analysis?
McLaren can sit here all they want. They're in a 2v1. All right. So what's and I don't count RB as 1. I count RB as 0.5 each. That's mainly because of Yuki Tsunoda's height. But if you add both of them together and then to Max, you have a full team. So I think that they can't really be too. I mean, and plus also they've been doing that for years. Like,
yeah, exactly.
Oh, we're in a championship fight. Let's complain about it. Shut up. It doesn't matter. Like, everyone else has had to live with it. Why can't you?
Sensing a little bit of hostility with Will Smith and McLaren Formula One team.
No, I just hate the victim card they're trying to play.
It's F1 Twitter. That's all it is.
Because I just hate the victim card. Why are you playing the victim card? Oh, why have they got two teams? Because they do. No one else cares.
What a discovery. We didn't know that at the start of the season. I think it would annoy me, though, if... I think it would annoy me. So remember in Abu Dhabi 2021 when there was like Perez held up Hamilton? I think that's perfectly fair because that is teammate. But say that was an RB that had got asked to do that. That was what I'd draw the line with.
The thing is, though, it's not like they're telling like RB to go out there and just crash into everyone. They're not doing that. RB are doing their own thing. RB are fighting for their. They're not. I think this is what people don't understand. RB are not literally descendants from Red Bull. They have their own backing and funding as well. They are just part of the chain that have funding from Red Bull. They are not controlled by Red Bull. Like
they are.
But not massively. Like, they have their own team principles and stuff like that. Horner is not sitting there playing 4D chess.
No.
Exactly. No. And when McLaren say stuff like that, you've got the stupid fangirls absolutely. Why won't they let my Lando win? Like, what? Just give it a rest. Like, just stop watching Drive to Survive and actually understand the sport. I'm sorry, but Toro Rosso have been in this since 20...
For quite a few years.
2008.
Even further than that.
I'm thinking
exactly. They've always been in it, and no one has said a single thing.
Well, Toro Rosso won a Formula One race before Red Bull did.
Exactly. Oh, but they shouldn't be allowed in the sport because my little Lando is getting held up. Stop. Just grow up. Had enough.
Well, one driver that...
glad we've got Will's take. Good to be back.
One driver that we were sure was going to... I don't even know how to... Well, in a censored version of his phrasing, he said he was going to cause chaos. Obviously, Kevin Magnussen. So hold on a minute. So Max gets penalised for dropping the F-bomb, but Kevin Magnussen drops that phrase of FS up, and he gets away with it.
I saw that and tingled. Honestly, I was so happy.
But he said that, and the only thing he'd done is he went into the wall, got a puncher. It didn't even cause a safety car. Like, come on, K-Mag, at least go
crash gate.
Fully send it.
I found it really interesting that when he said that there wasn't any repercussion. I mean, not. By the way, there shouldn't be. I don't want there to be.
No.
But considering the course of the weekend, I was surprised that he said that and that nothing happened. Yeah. But yeah, I think people are a little bit silly if they genuinely think that with 7 races before Singapore, 6 races to go, that he's just going to rack up penalty points all over again. No, because he still needs to find a drive in another sport somewhere else. So he still needs to be sensible. But
it would be funny, though. Like, obviously, he needs a drive, but funny. It would be funny.
Honestly, Kevin Magnussen, Daniel Ricciardo, Valtteri Bottas all need to just go to IndyCar. They're all suited to it as well. I'm not just saying it as in, that's the next series along. They actually, all 3 of them drivers make sense in IndyCar. Like, you would not see Carlos Sainz say he couldn't have got that Williams seat. You would not have sent Carlos Sainz to IndyCar. That's just, it doesn't really feel right. But Valtteri Bottas, right? Valtteri
It's
with
the
the mullet and
name.
the tash, Daniel Ricciardo with the mullet as well, and who else does that? And K-Mag just being K. These are such IndyCar drivers.
But that's the thing. Like,
Bottas has the name for IndyCar.
Yeah,
the thing as well is the fact of, and people will probably say, oh well, that's why you've got Indy NXT. Like that's meant to be like how it steps up. If I'm honest, I've tried to watch Indy NXT this year, and none of those drivers deserve a seat in IndyCar for next year.
the only reason I watch a little bit of NXT is to watch Jamie Chadwick.
Yeah.
Other than that, I couldn't tell you anything else.
Realistically, none of the drivers in that series are probably good enough to drive in IndyCar. I mean, for goodness sake, as much as I love the man, Stingray Robb really does not deserve a seat in IndyCar.
It's just the name. The name puts in the seat. And that's what has to be perfect for it. It's the name.
If you ever told me, draw Stingray Robb, picture what you think he'd look like, I would draw
Tash.
I'd draw Valtteri Bottas.
Cowboy boots.
I'd draw Valtteri Bottas. That's what I was going to say. That's who I would draw.
Bottas is everyone's first take at drawing Stingray Robb.
He just is. Like, that is who I think of.
You know what's funny? Over this summer, I've actually seen 2 Corvette Stingrays, of which he is named after. So,
wow.
There you go.
Stingray Robb.
Right, Mercedes and Predictions League. Mercedes, I have actually got a conspiracy theory. Whenever they do bad in practice, whenever they do good in practice, totally fall away for quali, make it back up in the race.
Oh, here we go.
Seriously, whenever they do a bad practice, they find the pace and qualify and excited for the race, fall off. There is something going wrong, especially on Lewis Hamilton's side of the garage. But there is something going on there. It's so you don't know what it is, but it's clear that there is something there that's not right. And listen, as much as I am a big fan of Mercedes Lewis, the partnership, 6 races, just get that man to Maranello, please.
Doesn't it seem crazy that they've won 3 races this year?
Yeah, I know.
Like, it doesn't. If you look at them now, and if you remember how they were at the start of the year, the fact that they've somehow managed to win 3 races is actually baffling.
That month was just
life peaked.
Yeah, life peaked. Ben peaked. Ben grew a couple of inches in height. He peaked that much. He was that happy. Look at him. He's reminiscing on it now.
Honestly, that is so.
He's just remembering Lewis winning at Silverstone, and he's not even part of the podcast anymore. His brain's back in July.
When you just think of some of the races, you've had Leclerc win in Monaco, you've had him win in Monza, you've had Lewis Hamilton win at Silverstone, you've had Lando and Oscar both win their first races and gone to win more. You've had unbelievable moments as well along the way. You've had a driver pick up the first ever race ban since race bans became possible through penalty points. And we still got 6 races to go plus sprint races.
Ben, if Norris wins the title, can you please go bold again and dye your hair blonde like Eminem?
What?
What?
Why would I do that?
Just because I think it would suit you.
I should dye it papaya orange.
Yeah.
No. Oh no.
Go bold,
Can you imagine that?
Bring back bold Ben. I miss.
Well, I just make it very clear that, like, if when McLaren do win the constructors, I will be making a big deal out of the fact that I am from Woking.
Yeah, no,
You're from Woking.
I've never told you.
No,
Did you know as well, by the way, we actually have a football club and I support them.
Oh, really?
Did you work for them too?
You work for the Champions League, by the way.
Okay, well, if you want to bring things up, then we can talk about them all day long.
Have you seen the top he's wearing?
Yeah, no. Seeing the little corner
I thought you picked that out from thin air. I actually was wondering where did that come from. Okay, fair enough. I did. Yeah, I thought, have you been on my LinkedIn? Okay, yeah. No, but Mercedes, there's something wrong.
Yeah.
No. Just as I said, to think that they've won 3 races this year and look at them how the car is performing now, it's like, how on earth did they pull that off? But yeah, no, something's definitely not right. But
what do you make of the fact that the drivers' championship? I think Oscar Piastri is 8 points behind Leclerc for 3rd. Russell's now only 19 points behind Lewis Hamilton for 6th. It's quite. Do you know what? It's a very good standing. I'm quite a fan. Fernando's clearly best of the rest, if you will, out of because like the drivers say now, top 8 are always going to be filled. You have to hope for a crash or someone to drop out to make up more points. You're only fighting for 3 points every week, 9th and 10th, 2-1.
I
So
do agree that there should be more points. I think you should get points all the way down to 20th. I think that should make
I
it.
don't.
I just think it just rewards it a bit more.
I would say I'd want an 11th team, take it to 22, and then have the top 12.
Yeah.
That would be my thing.
If I Drake come in, then it will.
But the thing is as well is that how have we gone 18 races and Sauber still haven't got a point?
Yeah, but they look good.
Do you know what's even like more crazy? I find is that Zhou came 11th in Bahrain, so he is still ahead of Bottas. Bottas, I saw something that Bottas. I think Bottas has signed a new deal for Sauber. I think that's going to be announced. I think that is going to be announced. And hang the gloves up, mate. Hang the gloves up.
Goated.
Oh, it's gonna.
I love his. By the way, I do love his. Every week now he does his track thing on his bike. Do you watch his Instagram?
It's just going to bring back my hatred for him. I'm sorry, if he has a drive next year, my hatred for him is going to come.
Put some respect on VB77, mate, because
he's so clear of Perez.
Yeah, but no, I'm not even talking about that. It's the fact of apparently James Vowles has said that they're going to really push for Colapinto to get that other Sauber seat for next year, and I am begging that happens because Colapinto needs to be on this grid for next.
100%.
And
my 3 at the start of the year that I would have, wanted in would be Behrman, Lawson, and now I'm going to throw in Colapinto. Well, the 3rd at the start would have been probably
Antonelli.
No, who did I say?
Porsche.
Did I say Dragovic? It was Dragovic. I said Dragovic.
Yeah, what's he doing now?
Yeah, I don't actually know. But
Gross.
Colapinto, 100%. I need this guy. Hulkenberg 10th, by the way, in the championship, 24 points. Whereas listen to this: Nico Hulkenberg has 24 points. Magnussen has 6.
Bloody
wow!
And I mean, if we're talking about points, I think that's a perfect segue to get into the prediction.
Hold on, what's driver of the day?
I've already said mine.
Roy's already said his. I'm going to give mine to Nico Hulkenberg. P6 in qualifying, P9 in the race. And he let Ted use his ice bath.
I'm going to go with Verstappen. Just because after everything that's gone on this weekend behind the scenes, he's still doing the job on the track to stay as close to Norris as he can.
Boring.
Oh, boring.
Anyway, moving on to predictions. Now, I got to say,
can someone update me on the scores?
yeah, well, I will, but will. I've got to say, I was a bit surprised that you put Alonso 3rd in qualifying.
Me?
Yeah.
Did I?
Well, yes, you did.
Wait.
Ollie, you know exactly why I put 100% confirmation in, don't you?
Yeah.
And I've been waiting all weekend for him to finally realise. But you have to be very careful, Mr. William Smith. Check save to chat. Stop saving chat. Scroll up to where it's saved. I asked for 100% confirmation.
Oh, no! That says Nando. That's supposed to be Lando.
I know. But I didn't want to lead on as though I knew that. And so I made sure to ask for 100% confirmation. You said yes. I've got it all saved there. So I had
because that's supposed to say Lando. I didn't realise it auto-corrected.
Well, that's why there's a very bright green Fernando Alonso. I mean, it doesn't matter because neither Lando or Fernando came 3rd. And I was thinking, can you imagine if Fernando now gets P3? But, yeah, interesting to say the least. You would know if you liked our content. But listen, I will go into the predictions. So, qualifying, as we all know, we all struggle quite a bit, to be fair, with qualifying. And I was the only person who scored. I predicted Norris pole. So there was a point for me there. It's just Ollie, mate. That's just funny.
Oh, I give up at this point. I might have to forfeit
Now, Ollie, I have got some good news for you. You scored 1 point this weekend, predicting Norris to win, which takes you to 50 points.
Half century. There we go.
Damn.
Now, obviously, we know the real battle is between myself and Mr. Smith.
Are we still like 10 points clear of him?
Well,
And the rest.
I got 2 points for the race. I predicted Norris first, Piastri third. But this guy, right? Just because he has a beard, he thinks that he knows it all, right? He always just gets like the little like ones there. Like he'll have a 4, or he'll have a 5th, or he'll have a. And it's just like, so he got Norris first, Verstappen second, Piastri third. So meaning that. But both me and Will scored 3 points this week. Ollie scored just the 1. Meaning, in third place with 50 points is Mr. Ollie King. In second with 64, so 14 points clear of Ollie, is myself, and 2 points ahead with 66 is Mr. Smith. Now, I just want to say this one time, so we're all finally back on the pod. Reminder of the rules for the double game week being...
I'm saving my double game week.
Yeah, you just a reminder that you can't use it for a sprint weekend and you can't use it for Abu Dhabi.
I can't use it for Abu Dhabi.
No, you
Oh
cannot
no!
use it for the
I was
final.
going to say that. Like, I was going to go all out.
No,
But on the line,
So
Abu Dhabi,
technically,
do or die.
there's only 2 race weekends now where it's available: Vegas
Mexico.
and Mexico.
Honestly, I was going to save it to Abu Dhabi and just go all out.
I know
Oh,
Ben's saving it for Vegas. That's been obvious ever since we started this out.
Yeah.
Yeah, but Ben, if you let me do
Do you
it,
want to choose yours for Mexico?
if you let me do it for Abu Dhabi, that'll be so good because it will be literally. Think how close. No, hold on. Let me play it out to you. Think how close me and you are. All right. This could
Just the
be
2 of us.
all of us, all or nothing. Me v you, Abu Dhabi. I play double game week,
All right, we're not getting filmed by Amazon, mate.
mate. Think about it. Think how good that would be.
No, I disagree completely because imagine if it was like 65. No, imagine it was like 70 all, and then I scored 3 points and you scored 2, and then you win because you've got a double point and you win by 1.
Yeah, but that's the game, isn't it?
No, absolutely not.
Which is the point of double game week.
No, you can't use it for that. You can't use it for Abu Dhabi. You can't use it for.
So what
What season was it where the final race was double points? What year was that?
2014 or 15.
Yeah, what a weird.
Why? Oh, so
Weird
what was
scene.
Strange concept.
But yeah, so Will leads the way by 2, and then I lead Ollie by 14. And listen, but as we said last week, Ollie, all it takes is for a moment of pure magic.
If I get a top 5 correct, then I'm
You're
back,
in the
this.
game.
Wait,
There is listen, we've seen this year in Formula 1 that a lot can change.
Could you imagine, right? If I keep getting points, staying at the same kind of distance to you lot, but then say coming into the last weekend, I'm 8 points behind the leader. And then in Abu Dhabi, I get the race all 5 correct, and I go from being dead last all year to
My
win.
only thing is, as you know, and I've said this many a times, I always put mine in before I ask for yours too. However, the second person on the chat can always see the first person's. So it could become quite tactical there when I say race predictions, and then neither of you are going to answer me.
Nah, I'm not that.
No, I know. I just
There's
put
been, a
mine
few
in.
times, there's been a few times with me and
Oh,
Ollie.
you're going to message me separately.
There's been a few times where
Ollie
Ollie
is typing,
the
Will
same
is
thing.
typing, not trackside is typing.
I can't believe you thought I meant Fernando Alonso rather than Lando.
Well, I didn't think that. That's why
He asked you whether you want to correct yourself or not.
That's why
Well,
Will
you've stuck
laughed.
on the-
That's why Ollie
Nah,
put a laughing thing.
I see what's
Ollie
going
spotted it a
on.
mile off.
I see what's going on. You two can't handle the fact that I am astronomically clear of brain.
Wow.
So
Wow.
you decide to pick on any little thing. You thought that by putting Fernando Alonso third rather than Lando, you thought, that'll get it. But
Ollie,
who's Conway still at the top, mate?
Ollie, please find in clip.
This kid.
Please find in clip where he says earlier on in the year, I might just put Alonso in my top 5 every other week because he's good with the old tracks.
To be fair,
Find it, clip it, because that is exactly what this man used to say.
and how many times did it actually work this year? A good 2.
No, it didn't. Never.
A good 2.
Alonso's not been in the top
If
5.
I had a nickel for every time it worked, I'd have 2. It's not a lot, but it's better than nothing.
Yeah, exactly. Well, there you go. That is an
By the way,
updated table. You didn't hear last week, Will, but I went through all the ones I missed as well.
By the way, I do not know how we have managed to waffle on for an hour about the worst Grand Prix of the year. Like, we are so good at this. We
Sport,
Yeah,
Five Live. Is anyone in
Awesome.
general, please sign us.
Let us a podcast. God.
But yeah, now it's a 3-week break now until we've got COTA, which is a sprint weekend, which is very exciting.
Yeah.
Don't like it on the F1 game or F1 manager, but on actual racing, I absolutely love it, and I'm so here for it.
We are in the good part of the season now, though, where, I mean, Brazil, Vegas did really well last year.
Are we
Mexico, I've actually always liked.
Wait. Can we decide if Abu Dhabi is a title decider? Can we
We got to do a live one.
Can we do that
100%.
live?
100%.
Rather than doing Vegas live, can we do Abu Dhabi live?
Yeah,
Yeah,
that's
I say
a good idea.
Yeah.
That's a great idea. Imagine what?
Abu Dhabi's normally an evening race, isn't it? It's normally 5 o'clock evening race, something like
No,
that.
it's like 1 o'clock.
Right? Should we for that? Because otherwise, we might not all be at the same point.
Will's already saying, "Oh, I'm gonna have work." You're gonna have to take the day off work, mate. Live podding comes before
Wait, hold on.
looking after yourself.
When is that?
Just quickly though. If that is the case, I don't think we can do it over this because
No, we can.
yeah, but our streams might be at different points. So say if something happens and someone goes, "Oh my god!" Like,
So are you saying that it would have to be recorded? Like we'd all have to be in the same room, but like record on one or something?
that's the thing. We'd have to. So we could do it on my one, for example, because you can just record as one person. So I can just record myself like an hour-long episode, just me ranting. But no one would want to watch it.
No,
So
you're right.
we could just all turn up to someone's flat or go to a study room, watch
How
them.
do pitch I do things? They have one camera and then watch TV. Well, not one camera, but they're all on the same thing and then watch it. Yeah, I suppose.
I think that's the only way to do it. Because if we're all watching different streams, then it might be at different points. Because someone might be like, "Oh, and so and so's got off the line really well," and they'll be like, "What? They're still on the formation lap."
Well, I suppose if you're all watching on Sky Go, though, you'd all have the same.
You never know. I'd rather not take the risk.
It's a good thought, though.
Yeah, for now.
We need to go karting as well. Will, what are your? Because I put it in the other day, and you were just like,
Perfect. We'll have to do that in the next 3. Once we finish recording here, we'll sort that out. But we'll have to do that in the next 3 weeks to get some content out.
Good.
yeah,
But
it's a good idea.
I'm bringing up a GoPro next weekend. Not next weekend, the weekend after, because I go home for my birthday, so I'll come back. So then I might wear it. Will they let me wear a GoPro? Like,
Yes, so you can pay an extra £8 because I've done it before and get one fitted. So actually, here's an idea: should all of us go again and wear GoPros and then like put like a YouTube video together or something?
Yeah. All right.
You pay like an extra like £8, and what they do is they put it on the top of your helmet and then they print out a barcode and then you scan your barcode and then you have access to your footage.
What about if I just want to use my own one?
Oh yeah, you can use your own one as well, as long as it's yeah. No, because not only do I want revenge because it's ridiculous, but also we can get you can get some content out of it and post it on like the TikToks and stuff this year. So we should do it. Can we do it before we start uni, or is that would be next? That would be this upcoming week.
let's do it before COTA.
Do it before COTA, yeah, because then when's COTA?
3 weeks time.
Oh yeah, because I'll have the GoPros. I'll have my GoPro up there.
But wouldn't it have to be a weekend?
No.
Not necessarily.
Our timetable 2 days a week.
What?
Yeah, we're only in 2 days a week.
What, has it actually come out now?
I think me and Red found it last week. It's Tuesday and Friday. That's it.
Wow.
But anyway, so that will be some content to
We
fill.
could go on a Wednesday then.
Yeah.
Oh, no, but you do campus stuff. Don't
Yeah,
you?
we can do it in the afternoon.
Yeah, do it in the afternoon. Yeah.
Okay, cool. Nice one.
But there we go. So the content is sorted for the 3-week break. That is all from the three of us. Again, this week next time you'll see us, we'll be in our lovely go-karting overalls.
Oh god.
And and hopefully I can reign victorious again after being the underdog last year.
That
So
was just the practice, mate. That was just
Well,
like a warm
we
up.
will be back in 3 weeks' time to analyse everything that goes on in the American Grand Prix in the state of Texas. But from me, Ben and Will, that is all for the Trackside podcast today, episode 19, over and done with. So yeah, we will see you again
Bye then.
in 3 weeks' time. Thank you very much for watching.